Welcome back to the Leeds Rhinos Podcast, episode 53. My name is Phil Daly. I'm the head of media and PR. It's a Monday, which means it's our match review edition. We'll be looking back on a fantastic win on Saturday over at Hull FC. Brilliant performance by all the boys, coming away with a 34-0, and Brad was particularly happy with the nil part of that. We'll be looking back with that. I'm delighted as my guest today. We've got Tom Nicholson-Watton, the straight man to Jared O'Connor's funny man on the knock-on effect. And we're hearing from Tom his thoughts on the game. He was over at the MKM Stadium to watch the boys in action, so we'll get his thoughts on the game. And we're going to have a bit of a review of the season so far, looking at the statistics there and seeing how our lads are measuring up with the rest of the Betfred Super League. And then we'll look ahead to Thursday night's trip to Huddersfield, an important game to build up the pressure on those playoff positions as we're in that hunt for second spot with the other teams around us facing some tough games over the weekend. And we get the chance to go first on Thursday night against the Giants. Don't forget to subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Let's keep in touch with all the latest podcasts as they drop. You won't miss a thing if you subscribe. And make sure you put that notifications bell on as well, so you can keep in touch and know straight away when the next brilliant edition of the Knock-On Effect comes out, Tom. We want people to get that straight away. We've got loads of other great content coming out over the next few weeks. Make sure you check out the last edition of the Knock-On Effect with Mikołaj Ledski. That was pretty good value, I thought, Tom.
Mm-hmm.
You happy with that?
I was pretty happy with it. It was one of the longest ones we've done, cut down into the shortest one.
You weren't happy about your joke being cut out, but we're not going to repeat it today.
Repeat it.
We're very straight down the line on this particular podcast, and that's silly nonsense. And we'll make sure you keep in touch with that. And also, if you missed last week's Q&A edition on Thursday, we had a special edition of the Q&A podcast with Sally Nugent from BBC Breakfast, where we went behind the scenes on the third and final documentary that Rob Burrow did before he passed. There's only one Rob Burrow. As I hope you all know, it's up for a National TV Awards, and you can help make sure that it wins. If you look above Tom's head there, you'll see a link. So make sure you click on that and go on to nationaltvawards.com. Rob's is the fourth category, so you can skip the other ones if you don't want to vote on the other category. Go to Rob's. It's in the authored documentary category. There's only one Rob Burrow. Click on that. Now make sure you go through to the end of the voting, and you can then put in a name, an email address, and submit to make sure your vote counts. And then tell everyone you know to vote. We really want to get this documentary the recognition it deserves on a national stage. You've probably seen over the weekend, football legend Alan Shearer's thrown his weight behind it. We've had support from Wayne Rooney as well. I know there's lots of other things going on. Brilliant video if you haven't seen it yet with Maya Burrow, and she talks about how to vote for her dad's documentary. So make sure that you do that and tell everyone you know to do that, because we want to make sure we get that documentary over the line. And check out that edition of the Leeds Rhinos podcast from Thursday with Sally Nugent. Brilliant insight from Sally about how the documentary came about and the love and care and respect that was shown to the Burrow family whilst that was being a fascinating insight on that. So check that out as well. Tom, you were over there at the MKM Stadium on Saturday. It was a great performance from the boys, but I thought particularly in that first 20 minutes, it was a real arm wrestle before we managed to get on top of them.
Yeah, well, looking at the game, you saw how fast it was, and we looked not lethargic, but not at our best for that first 20 minutes. I think it was just trying to get us up to speed with the pace of the game. But after we toughed it out for the first 10, first 20, and then we ran away with the scoreboard after that.
Yeah, I was fortunate to be sat on the bench on Saturday, and Mikołaj Ledski, when he came off, he was blowing a bit. He's obviously had a couple of games out, and he was talking about being in the washing machine,
yeah.
And that back and forth. I mean, there weren't many errors in that early stage, and we were just going back. He was going from try line to try line. How tough is it when games are like that?
When it's free flowing, it's you can't really train for it. It's like a certain type of fitness that you can do as much running as you want, but that match fitness you struggle to get. No, I seen him when he come off. He was very, very tired. But no, that's what we focus on that as well. If we can go set for set with a team for a certain amount of time, we know that we'll probably get the better of them because of how fit we are. And as we say, then I think there was maybe one, we give a penalty away in the first set, and then I think there might have been a 6 again, but other than that, it was really free-flowing, and I think that's probably sticking that first 10 minutes out is what has allowed us to get on the scoreboard later on in the half, taking everything out of them and then us just flowing and carrying on at that level.
Yeah, and Mick, the follow-on from that was Mick then had to seek assurance from Callum Watkins when he came off. He said, "Is it like this? Has it been like this every week now?" And Callum said, "No, this is particularly intense."
It did look very intense from the sideline, and I was sat with Keenan, Ash, and Micah, and we were saying this looks like very fast. So no, it was a really good watch, but a really spirited win as well.
And then we finally made the breakthrough and got that opening try. Was it crucial to get that first score?
I think so, yeah. We know when we score first, we've got a really good chance of winning the game. So, there was not much doing, and then just Jake being Jake, he finds a long ball to Hawley, and we go over, and I think from there we sort of we maintained our level of where we've been playing, and Hull didn't fall off, but I don't think that they could keep up with us. And then it was just sort of lucky we went set for set again, got another try, and then on the kick-off back we got another try, so just helped ticking that scoreboard over. And when a team's deflated and we can stay at that level, it's good to get points on the board.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned Hawley's try there. Great to see Hawley getting over again and keeping that try count ticking over, but individual skill, particularly Jake with the interception and having the speed to get to the line, but Callum with that diving catch for his try. And as Cooper Jenkins said to me last week, these things aren't luck; they're practice, and that support play on kicks is something I know you put a lot of time into.
Yeah, we do. I think Mikelai had one earlier on in the year at Edinley. It was his first try back, and we know where our kicks are going to go. We know who's going to be competing for the kicks, and as forwards, it's just about being around the ball in case anything does happen. And we know Jake likes to tap the ball back, and the kick from Crofty was exactly where we wanted it to be. Jake got up there, did exactly what he needed to do, and then Callum was there doing exactly what he needed to do as well. So it's no look, we practice these things a lot, and you see a lot of tries. Like Harry's had a couple kicks from that side. Bentos had one against Lee where it was tapped back down, and he was on the support role as well. So we're good at scoring tries from kicks. Yeah,
and that comes with that practice. Healthy lead at half time, but as impressive the second half that we didn't let up. We kept up our intensity. Yeah,
it was good. We in the change rooms at half time, that was the main focus. Hawley and BA said, let's keep these to 0, and that's the aim for the game. If we can keep these to 0, because we've done a few times where we've run away with a game, but we've conceded a cheap try later on. We had a focus against Hull KR. If we can keep them to 0, but that was right, wasn't it?
Yeah, they got one right.
They got one right at the end, and
Cass as well.
Cass as well pipped us right at the end, and we've had a focus on trying to get a 0 when we run away with the games, and it was really pleasing to see that we could do it.
Yeah, and that mentality, that's exactly what you need going into the playoffs. Interesting, you mentioned Hawley and how he talks. It is noticeable how much Hawley does talk in the dressing room, isn't it?
Yeah, he's got it's just he's been around for so long. Everybody respects him massively, and there's a few other lads as well. When they speak, everyone listens, and he knows what he's doing, and we'll just follow him and do what he says. And you rarely hear him speak up, but when he speaks, people listen and people take notice. And he jumped on the back of what BA was saying, and it's pleasing to see that the lads could do that, and we put all the energy into getting that 0.
Absolutely. Looking through the stats, interesting one in terms of possession. Possession was 50-50, which in a 34-0 win sort of belies that. It was a tough game and we had to really earn that. Possession in the opposition's 20. We had it for 3 minutes and 16 seconds. Hull actually had it 5 minutes and almost 2 minutes longer in our 20. So that again backs up that defensive effort.
Yeah, and what we said about the possession there, we know if we can get at least 50% possession, we've got a good chance of winning the game as well. It's when we give away a cheap ball and we're on the lower side of the possession where we tend to struggle. But no, it speaks volumes about our try-line defence as well, how we can continuously get off the line and put loads of effort into our try-line defence. And Langers talks about all the time about desperation and intent off the line, and it shows that just the attitude of the group of how much work we're willing to put in.
Yeah, I'm looking through some of the stats there. Lachie Miller, 244 metres again, as usual, our top meter maker. But our entire back line: Ryan Hall 110, Harry 105, Max Simpson 108 metres in 65 minutes, 158 from Chris Hankinson, who I think's really settled into the side now, Chris, hasn't he? And Crofty 143 and Jake Connor 105. The entire back line making over 100 metres. That shows the intent we've got.
Yeah, it speaks volumes as well about the middles. They can give the backs a good opportunity to catch the ball in space and make those meters, and it shows the attitude again. Just outside backs working really hard and putting the effort in and running as hard as they can, taking time and space off the defence and chasing that collision.
Yeah, and then you've got in the forwards Morgan Gannon 122 metres, Callum Watkins 105. Callum did that in 45 minutes worth of action. Sam Mazzoni in half an hour did 100 metres. Cooper Jenkins, who I thought really stamped his mark on his return, 103 metres and 18 tackles in half an hour's action. And Joe Shorrocks, making his debut, came up with 50 minutes of action, and he hadn't played actually since he played for Salford against us here. So to come up with 50 minutes is a fair effort by him.
Yeah, he looked really fit. Like, he didn't look tired at all. You saw all his effort areas, all his kick pressure, inside pressure, kick chase, everything like that. That's what I was watching, and he didn't seem to slow down either. He's like Jared, like he can just go and go and go, and he doesn't really get tired. He come up with a nice offload as well for Crofty's try. So no, he'd be really pleased with his debut. Yeah,
and Jared will be disappointed that you've missed the missing link there between Shorrock's offload and Crofty's try, because nice little run there from Jared. Credit where credit's due.
I think there was an obstruction. That someone couldn't get to Jared. That's the only reason he could get through the line, because he's not actually that fast.
Yeah, well, I'm sure he'll be very proud in review when that's shown again. Prez, obviously we lost Keenan Plaster on the morning of the game. He was ruled out, and he's been such a presence, hasn't he, Keenan, within the squad, and you lose a player of his quality and put an 18-year-old in his place, you might think, well, but actually, I found it remarkable before the game. We were all still calm, oh, fine, Prez will do that. And he racked up another 52 minutes in the front row. Big effort from him.
Yeah, he's taken to it really, really well. We all, as a younger group, we were all saying, oh, yeah, he'll definitely play this year. This was early on in the day. He's definitely going to play. But I think we were all taken back by how well he's actually taken to it. Like, he looks like he's been out there for years. And he's doing really well, I think, as well, because he started a couple of games, started against Cass, and the boys, they've got that trust in him, and that's all. Everyone knows that he can do the job, starting up front, and Keenan dropped out on the morning, but for Prez to step in, it was just like he started before, so there's no differences to any week before. But it was good that Joe got his spot on the bench as well.
And good to see Mick and Coops back. We touched on it briefly there, but they both came through well. Both of them looked like they could be lengthy layoffs when they first suffered the injury, but Cooper in particular really picked up where he left off.
Yeah, Cooper was saying his best game was against Lee when just before he got injured, but he's starting now to become a really, really dominant forward, and his run meters and his defensive efforts, and his physicality is just really, really good. So I'm excited to see what he does towards the end of the year as well. I think he can, really, really stamp his mark.
Yeah, it must be them wet boots that are firing up. He's angry and he's out to get.
Probably, but who knows?
We're not going there. I'll leave you two to deal with that one. In terms of a win as well, where it takes us in the table. Obviously, Saints lost at Hull KR, so suddenly that opened up a gap for us there. An important one to build on. We've had a big emotional win against Hull KR here at home. To go there and come up with a performance like that, as much as the win, important.
Yeah, it was really pleasing. Our last few performances, we're starting to nail an 80-minute performance. Like, we did it against KR, we were 77 minutes, and then we had a really high-scoring game against Cass, which was really good for us. And then I think this game, showing the defensive effort that we can do, leading into the end of the year, is going to be really important. I think we're a point off second now, so...
Yeah, 2 points off.
2 points off second, so if we can, get the... do a job on Thursday, and then I think the game against Wigan is going to be really important for us as well.
Yeah, it's building up nicely to that final round over at Wigan, and tickets on sale. It's going to be a huge night over there. Make sure you get over there to support the boys. I mean, you mentioned the league table there. It's fantastic to see the competition there is now. So Wigan are in second place on 36. We're third on 34. You've got Lee on 33, Saints on 32. I mean, those four teams separated by just 4 points with 3 rounds to go. It shows how competitive the season's been so far.
Yeah, and it shows the quality of the Super League as well. Like, you've got the top teams are all fighting for the for that top 2 spot or top 4 spot, and it speaks volumes for the game as well. How you've got a side like Lee have come up and they're doing really well this year, and Wakey have come up as well, and they're battling for 6th now or 5th. So no, it's a really good quality Super League this year. Like, I think I don't know whether people have caught up to like your Wigans and KRs and it's levelled out that top 6 sort of playing field. Like, anyone can beat anyone now. But no, it's looking for a really, really exciting end of the year.
Yeah, anyone can beat anyone, as Salford showed
Yeah.
against Warrington, which was a completely unexpected result. But mentioned for your old teammate Justin Sangai got over for a double as well.
I know. I dropped him a text saying, "Where's that been all year?" But no, it was really pleasing. He sort of, I think one was off a kick, he caught it and fell over, and then another one was a break, and he was there on the push support. So no, it was nice to see him go. Nice to see Toby Warren out there as well doing his bit for Salford.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, pleased for those lads because they've obviously been through hell this year, and the guys who are dropping in there probably haven't even had a training session or maybe one with them. And to come out with a result like that, as tough as it was on Warrington, it was a great result for Salford. Yeah, I mean, I thought we'd just have a look with as we get to the sort of the meaty bit at the end of the season, looking at some of the stats around the competition as a whole. Obviously, Jake Collins had a sensational year. We think he's the red hot favourite for Man of Steel, and it's gone blind. We don't know how the voting's going, but he picked up another Man of the Match award on Sky on Saturdays. Third highest point scorer behind Arthur Morgan, Max Jowett. He's got 171 points. He's the second highest goal scorer with 71. He's got an 80.7% kicking percentage, which of the regular kickers, there's only really Adam Kieran at Wigan who's much higher than him. And he's third for line break assists, just behind Lachie Miller and Tristan Saylor at Saints. So he's having an absolute storm of a year, isn't he?
Yeah, he's doing really good. There was like some speculation with the fans around what it was going to be like when we signed him, but he's been one of our best players, and I 100% think he'll be a Man of Steel this year, and hopefully he gets that England spot as well.
Yeah, I think with his biggest challenger could be his teammate Lachie Miller, because Lockie's been on fire as well there. Yeah, looking at there, Lockie's 10th for line breaks, 15 line breaks, tackle breaks. He's well clear that. He's 169 tackle breaks from Lachie, 438 runs, 4,464 metres. He's well clear. He's 200 metres clear of Tom Davis from Hull KR in second place there, and he's making more metres. But he's the only player in Super League who's making over 200 metres per game. He's been on absolute fire, hasn't he, Lachie?
He's been really, really good, considering he missed the first few games of the year as well, and he's at the top of all the charts. So imagine how far ahead he'd be if he'd have played the first few games as well. But he's at some really good form as Lachie. He's doing really, really well for us. He's just so electric and powerful, and it helps him break them tackles and make up the meters as well.
Yeah, I mean, I spoke to Cooper last week on the Match Review podcast about how he challenges defences when he goes. He never gives up on a tackle, does he? No. You've got to make sure you've got him, and you see him bounce out of that tackle and maybe make an extra 5-6 metres on it. I mean, as a middle there, how daunting is it when you see some of that sort of footwork coming towards you?
It's quite hard because, especially with Lachie, you don't know what he's going to do. You don't know whether he's going to try and go around you. You don't know whether he's going to grab you and try throw you. You don't know whether he's just going to run over the top of you. So it's really hard to deal with. Like, as a middle, it's easier to tackle people. It's easier to tackle other forwards because you just know they're just going to run straight at you. But with outside backs like Lachie, and then we spoke about Arthur Morgan as well, they've got really, really good feet, and they're quite hard to tackle. It's like we saw at the weekend with his line break, and then got it to Crofty and then to Sam. Like, we thought that tackle was done, and then all of a sudden there's a line break and he's through. So no, he's a really difficult player to handle.
Yeah, brilliant stuff. Between him and Jake, it's going to be a real contest, not least for the Rhinos Player of the Year. Between them two, I reckon either one of them who doesn't get is going to sulk. So we might have to find a way of splitting that one. And then, of course, something that's really, particularly in recent weeks, our offload game and the ability, and again, something we spoke to Cooper last week about, that this is, you practice it, or it's part of the DNA of what this team is. And look at the top 10 of offloads across Super League, and 3 of them are from the Rhinos. So you've got Harry, the top offloader, with 39 out of the Rhinos team. There's only Tane Mill and Herman SAS above him across Super League. Callum's on 37 and Lachie's on 31. It really is an attacking weapon for the team, isn't it?
Yeah, I think, like we spoke about then, we've practiced this and we've been trying to do it all year, but maybe it hasn't come to fruition yet. And we're really hitting some form with the offload game and the loose play game. And like we said about then, and Cooper said, like, it's not luck, it's not coincidence. Like, we practice this every week, and there's a lot of time and effort goes into playing off the cuff footy. As much structured as we are, a lot of time and effort goes into it, and I think it benefits the way we play as well, because we can offload, and then straight away we're back on system and back on how we want to play, and it complements the players as well. Like, we've got Harry, who can beat anyone, Lachie, who can beat anyone, and we've got lads pushing into holes and creating opportunities for other people as well. So I'm only more excited to see how it can develop more towards the end of the year.
Absolutely. And we mentioned him briefly earlier on for his try assist. An interesting stat that I spotted here from dummy half meters, because I think one of the things people might have a perception around Jared's play from dummy half is that he doesn't scoot as often as some players do. But actually, when you look at his meters, there's only Daryl Clark from Saints, Jeslett and Hull KR, and Edwin Ipape at Lee, who you would... perception, I think they are running halves, aren't they? They like to run it. Well, there's only Danny Walker from Warrington who's made more meters than Jared from dummy half runs. Jared's above the likes of Cruz Lehman, Amir Burrow, obviously played against Zach Walford at Huddersfield. Jared's made 619 meters so far. That is something he is adding to his game, isn't he?
Yeah, he's really developing his game as a 9, and you see him. I think he's good at noticing when people are tired as well. Like, when our middles have worked hard, our outside backs have worked hard, and he can spot a little opportunity to put some more effort in for the lads. And he's really starting to develop that bit of his game. He's developed really well. Like, he's becoming an 80-minute 9 as well. He's always said he can do 80 minutes, but 80 minutes of quality, he's been really, really good for us this year.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned minutes there, because the other one I was looking at there was minutes played. In the top 10 minutes played, we've got 3 players in there. I think that shows the sort of the core of the team. Whilst we've had injuries and people have come in, Harry Newman's one of the top minutes. He's 5th overall. Then you've got Jake Connor and James McDonald. I mean, particularly for Macca, the amount of minutes he's playing is really impressive with the amount of workload he's doing as well.
Yeah, he's doing really well. He's Macca. He's just such a workhorse. We spoke about on our podcast, who do you think could win a marathon? And Macca's name got thrown in there, and it goes unnoticed, some of the effort he puts in, putting pressure on halves, and he's intent with his carry, and all the effort areas that people might not see. He's actually he's creating opportunities for us. But no, it certainly doesn't go unnoticed within the group how much effort he's putting in.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when you talk about consistency across the team, it's quite interesting actually, because Huddersfield, who we played this Thursday, and we'll come on to Huddersfield now, there's been a lot of play around their injuries and the amount of players they've had at various times. We're looking at both squads. For players who've played over 19 or more games so far, they've had 11 players that have played 19 or more games this year. We've got 10. So actually, we've had more changes, albeit just by one player, but in terms of that consistency across the side. So it shows that the as a squad as a whole, everyone's having to play their part, and we saw that again at the weekend, don't we?
Yeah, and I think the squad we've got, it doesn't matter who's not playing. We focus on who is playing, and I think that's, like, you can see throughout the year that no matter what squad we've got out, we are competing every game. And like Keenan dropping out at the weekend, and Joe Shorrocks comes in, Prez moves up, and there's no real change. Like, we've lost a quality player, but there's quality behind that as well. And we've got lads at the minute who aren't playing, who can't get in the squad for whatever reason, and they're quality players as well. So it speaks volumes about the squad and how much everybody knows what they're doing, knows the system, can do their job if they have to come in for 1 or 2 games. Like Ben Littlewood's come in, he did a really good job against Cass, and then he drops out, someone else comes in, and we're not missing anything. It's just adding on to it all.
Absolutely. So, mentioned Huddersfield there. They're having a tough season. As we mentioned there, they had a defeat against Wakefield last time out, but they always seem to become a big performance against. We've had some classic games over the last few years. The rivalry's really built up over the last few years. Golden Point wins and draws and all sorts over recent times against them. Do you think you're expecting they're going to be tough on Thursday?
Yeah, they're starting to hit some form. Like, they're playing a good style of rugby, and they've got some electric players. They've got George Flanagan at the back. I think Kieran Rush is doing a really good job for him in the halves as well. They've got some real go forward as well in the middle. So they're good. It's going to be a tough game, but no tougher than any game we've played before. And we know that if we can do what we need to do and just fulfil our roles, that will come out on the good side of the result.
And Tom Burgess, someone who'll be a handful we have to deal with in the middle there.
No, he's a big body to handle, and he's got that the bump and the offload as well, and he is certainly hard to handle. But I think we've shown at the weekend, you've got Herman Esese, and we handled him really well. Handled his offload and slowed him down, made him do stuff that he particularly might not like doing, and I'm sure we can do the same with Tom Burgess this week.
And unfortunately, Matt Frawley won't be involved. Frawley's had that injury. He's had surgery last week, and we wish him all the best with the recovery from that in that one. Talking about yourself there, obviously you've had injuries this year that have been frustrating, but you're on the road to recovery now. Yeah,
hopefully I've got a week with Charlie this week, and then I'll be back in training next week, and I've got my sights set on the Reserves Grand Final, which is the next week. So I'm looking forward to that, playing in that, and then I'll just make myself available if needed towards the end of the year. But with the way the squad's playing at the minute, I don't know if I'll get in.
Full John Terry moment, just turn up for the final and collect the medal.
It's funny you say that. We had the Salford game at the weekend. There was a 19th man, and he took all his stuff off, and he went on the pitch strapped up with his kit on. Another ex-Leeds Academy player in Kai Morgan, but that was funny to see. I don't know whether I'll quite do the John Terry go up in full kit and lift the trophy and everything, but I'll be around it.
Fair play to Kai though. He's had some tough days
this
season. He's had to lead that team around in some very difficult days. Who could begrudge him having a good night over at Warrington? And of course the podcast with Jared. Enjoying how that's going?
Yeah, it's going good. He gets more annoying every week, does Jared, and more hard to talk to. But we've got some good guests on this week. We're still debating who we're going to get on, and we're trying to get Morgan Gannon, Tom Holroyd on together, because
the Siddle Massive.
The Siddle Massive. Individually, I don't think it'd be quite as funny, but you put them together and they're quite the comedy duo. And we're probably going to get Prez on as well while he's playing well, and show everyone what he's really about.
But he's a confident young man, is Prez. When I've done interviews with him, pre-match or post-match, he's taken. I mean, as much as he's taken to playing in Super like a Dr. Water, the interviews and that, he's natural at it.
He's doing really good. He got when he scored his try against Cass, we were all saying the analysis of it was really, really deep and really thought through. So. No, he's taken to it. We always knew he was going to take to it. He's confident, but he's a really humble guy as well, and it'll be good to get him on our podcast and take the mick out of him a bit.
It's good, isn't it, an opportunity to show the other side of the players as well, because obviously we see him, the interviews we do for the Rhinos, and we've had box two with various senior players mainly, but like the guys you're speaking to, the younger end of the squad and everything. It's great to show that personality. Fans can get to know them a bit more.
Yeah, it's nice to see, because there's no one really doing it. Like, everything in rugby league at the minute is very serious, so it's good that we're showing what players are really like, although some of it might not make it in still, but we're showing the personalities of the players and what we actually talk about, what we actually get up to in life, and we'll try and get through the whole squad over the next however long we do it. And if there's anyone wants to particularly see on the podcast, you'll just have to let us know. But no, we're really, really enjoying it, and it's good to show the different sides to people.
Yeah, that's great. And of course, you did a collab with the fans podcast, the Lot Pod, the other week. Now that was there was a live audience there. I felt that might have inhibited your natural style, Tom.
Yeah, a little bit. I had to think very, very thoroughly about what I was going to say, and because I knew it wasn't going to get cut as well, I had to be extra careful. So I was quite boring on that podcast, but no, it was good fun. You know, the guys at the Lot Pod, they're good fun, and they asked some good questions and some silly questions as well. So no, that was really, really fun. But it's just a blessing that we can chop and change all our podcasts as well.
There we go. So all about spreading the word about Leeds Rhinos and the great game of rugby league. So anything we can do on that. On that note, don't forget to subscribe wherever you get your podcast to keep in touch with everything that's coming from the Leeds Rhinos. Remember to give us a 5-star review so we can continue to climb those charts and the podcast charts and spread the word about Leeds Rhinos and rugby league wherever you get your podcast from. Everything helps. Remember to put that notification bell on so it goes off as soon as the latest podcast drops, so you stay in touch wherever you get your podcast from, and you can learn all about Leeds Rhinos. It's our pleasure to bring these interviews to you, and I hope you find them informative about what's going on here at the club. Before I go, a special mention, don't forget to vote for Rob Burrow for the National TV Awards, www.nationaltvawards.com. It's the 4th category. You can skip the other ones if you don't want to vote on favourite soap opera or drama, or what would be your favourite drama from this last year?
Ooh, I don't know. When I did my few votes, I saw Mobland, so I did Mobland and Robbie's as well.
Right. Helen Mirren's Irish accent didn't put you off?
No, I didn't mind it. Mind it. There was a few, like the first few I voted, did all of them. Then I just skipped to Rob's and voted that. But I was doing my grandma's email, my granddad's email.
This is the example you need to follow. Get the entire family involved. Get the family WhatsApp group involved. You're going back to school. For the parents who are going back to school, that WhatsApp group's going to be full of, is it PE today? Has anyone got the right tie? All that sort of stuff. Whilst you're having those chats about those sort of things, bang in a note saying, "Don't forget to vote for Rob Burrow," and you can feel good for the rest of the day, knowing you've played your part. Tom, it's been great to have you on and giving us out your unique insight into the game. One of the great thinkers in the squad. That's why he got his own podcast, because he's showing his talent on and off the field. It's been great to hear his thoughts on the game at the weekend. Don't forget to join us on Thursday for our Q&A edition. And thanks once again for tuning in. We can't wait to see you next time. And everything about Leeds Rhinos, we bring it to you so you can keep in touch with how the team are going. We've got a massive couple of weeks coming up, starting on Thursday over at the Giants. Tickets are on sale. There's always a great following. There was a brilliant following of Leeds fans over at Hull on Saturday. Hopefully just as many at Huddersfield on Thursday night. Enjoy that one. And then we're back here against Catalan's Dragons, which is going to be it's our Armed Forces game, which is always one of the special parts of our calendar. It's also, don't forget, our final regular season home game, which means that we'll have our lap of appreciation at the end where the lads go around and sign autographs, do the selfies, and meet all the fans. It's always a special, special night here at AMT Headingley. So make sure you get your tickets for that. Let's have a packed house to really get behind the boys before that big game at Wigan, and then going into the playoffs, from hopefully going to secure a home playoff game. So make sure you're here for the Catalans game. Tickets on sale now at tickets.therhinos.co.uk. It's going to be a great night of celebration for so many reasons. So make sure you get your ticket. We'll see you next time, and thanks for joining us.
Hi, I'm Maya Burrow, and I'm going to tell you how you can vote for my dad's documentary, There's Only One Rob Burrow, at the National Television Awards. So first of all, you need to search up nationaltvawards.com and then press start voting. After that, you go to the author documentary category and click on There's Only One Rob Burrow. Lastly, you need to put your name and email address in, then press submit for your vote to count. It would mean the world for me and my family to win this award. So please, please, please vote.